Hey guys, Brian here, and we're going to be talking about the Steam Deck and my overall experience with it this weekend. This is going to act as kind of a first impressions, and I will be creating some setup guides on how I got everything to work on the Steam Deck. There's a lot of setup that you have to do for games that do not or have not already been confirmed by Steam Deck themselves. So actually, one of the nice things that they do is they'll show you your library and everything that runs great and it's already been set up and ready to go on Steam Deck itself. And thankfully, I have actually a bunch of games, my Final Fantasy collection, Elden Ring, all of these games I've played on the Steam Deck this weekend, and I'm going to keep playing them because the Steam Deck at its core offers me as a gamer so much. Now, if you're looking for any of my particular experiences, say New World, say Final Fantasy 14, say Tales of Arise, note that I'm going to be having more of a breakout video session. I've already got the Final Fantasy 14 video posted, and also I'll be putting together guides again on like how to set up Stadia and all that. So I do have Stadia set up on the Steam Deck. I have played Destiny via Stadia because Destiny right now is not a game that is supported on Steam Deck, and you can get banned because of how they've got that easy anti-cheat going. And Destiny, Bungie has said currently at this time, do not install Destiny on the Steam Deck, and the games and the system will let you do whatever you want. In fact, if you're coming from Windows or you're coming from a console experience that's very curated, note that you have a massive amount of flexibility. You have a massive amount of power, and with great power comes great responsibility. And so for myself, being that I've worked in Linux, that I have a programming background, a lot of what I ended up doing on just day one was modifying the system, installing software that's just going to make my life easier to use the system itself. And then Sunday, and then some parts of today, which I'm filming this on a Monday, have all been about playing these games. And I have to say, I'm very excited for the future of Steam Deck. If you have the opportunity and you can afford one, this hopefully will be something that you're able to put higher on your priority list. Now, I'm going to talk as a dad, as an MMO player, and as a gamer, this is actually much better experience than it would be like on a laptop. And so playing Final Fantasy 14, and right now New World doesn't run because of anti-cheat, but the system says that this game probably won't work, and so I'm still troubleshooting New World, but I am able to stream New World from my PC. I'm able to stream it GeForce Now, which I am still working on getting GeForce Now set up, but I expect that because I got Stadia working, it should hopefully be a pretty simple setup for me. But I'm trying not to spend all my time modifying the Steam Deck. Like, I wanted to spend some time actually playing games. And what I find is that I feel like the battery life is really decent. You do, again, because these are PC games, you do have a lot of control over like the output, how the game is going to look visually. And so you can choose if you really want to have a more visual and wonderful experience visually, or if you're more interested in having a better, longer battery life. But I'm not like traveling on the road. This is for, sitting outside when it's a nice day. Hanging out with the family, or just chilling in like my chair at the end of the day while Julie and I kind of get caught up on YouTube videos. Like, it feels like I'm able to take and use games in a lighter way. Or I've also done some rating. I've done some harder end content. I've done content that takes 15, 20, 30 minutes to complete. And it's very comfortable holding the device, playing with the device. One of the things I'm really impressed with is, like, you see here, I kind of grab it like this generally when I'm picking it up. The only time I ever notice heat on the Steam Deck is when I've been playing it and I grab it like this. But holding it like in my palms of my hands like that, cool. It's out. It feels cool. My hands don't get sweaty. It's incredibly comfortable to use, and I'm quite pleased with the overall experience itself. Now, one of the things I will say is that I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot tall. Like right now, I've lost a lot of weight this year. I'm in the 270s so far. And this feels very lightweight. This feels like very comfortable to hold for long periods of time, but it also feels very comfortable to hold no matter kind of what position I'm at. In fact, actually just sitting down and playing it and filming it earlier for kind of the Final Fantasy 14 video, like, it was still comfortable even though I wasn't necessarily in a more relaxed position in this case. And so, like, giving myself the angle and the brightness of the screen and how it sounds, like, this feels great. Also, the thing I love, these back paddles, as somebody who has an Elite Series 2 with, and it has somebody who's gotten used to having kind of the back paddles, this has been great for targeting. This has been great for those additional button mappings, and you can choose what those buttons are going to map to by each game. By default, it's turned off. Like, you go into the settings and you say, yeah, I want to go ahead and use these back paddles, and you turn them on if you want them, and you keep them on if you keep them off if you don't. It's really kind of up to you, and that's the strength that the platform in and of itself brings me. It gives me so much flexibility, and I think then we're looking at a Linux-based platform and a Linux-based passionate community, that this is a device that I think will bring more Linux-based games to the platform, and overall, like, I thought Stadia might actually have kind of an impact on that, being that Stadia is a Linux-based system, but obviously Google is Google, and they do whatever they do. You never know with them. But I think essentially when we start looking at what the value of the Steam Deck brings to gamers, I think essentially then we could start to seeing kind of it grow a little bit, it explode a little bit, and more. Now, I've also played Destiny. I've done Destiny Strikes. I've done PvP on Destiny on Steam Deck through Stadia, and the dexterity of my hands feels great. The comfort of the buttons and the positions feels fantastic. And actually one of the big key things when you start to talk about cloud gaming versus local gaming is that the experience on the Steam Deck has been pristine for Stadia. In fact, like, Stadia in and of itself should go and somehow team up with Steam. Like, they need to have some kind of thing, some kind of app, because the setup right now does require a little bit, and I'll go through that in a future video for you guys here on this channel. But the battery life versus running it locally is I ran a dungeon in Final Fantasy 14, used about 15 to 20% of my battery. Not really that big of a deal. It wasn't that, like, that's not a negative in my mind, because I was also running it on high settings, and this is kind of for me in my testing. So now I'm kind of running on low settings to see if it overall has the same level of impact, or what the battery usage is on that case. But then I run it on Stadia, and I have, like, doing PvP, doing some strikes, doing some Gambit. Like, I spent a good hour on it and used, like 2% of my battery. I think essentially I have to do some logging because all the game rendering is happening, and it's just like I'm streaming, obviously a show or a video or things like that. So it's lightweight when it comes to cloud gaming, and I hope to see, and that's one of the things when I start to talk about the weaknesses of the Switch. And if you guys want any more comparison videos, I do have the Switch OLED model. In fact, actually, let me go ahead and get it for you. All right, so here I am with the Switch. Here I am with the Steam Deck. You can kind of see them both rocking and rolling here. Clearly, the Steam Deck is going to take and easily cover up the Switch. But all in all, like, these two devices together, stacking them, bringing it back. You can see here, that's roughly the difference. This is a great device. I put out a review on it the other day, and I love my OLED Switch, but it primarily sits docked. This is really more kind of my speed, my handheld. One of the reasons is that I love how it's all built and connected. If they ever, like, because they have the Switch Lite, but if they ever had a Switch that was just like this, that docked, and it was all in one, like these things didn't come off, I think essentially that might be more up my alley as opposed to this fully modular design. But that being said, the triggers, buttons, clicks, everything feels great about this device. I absolutely am happy that I've been able to get one, and I hope that if you guys consider getting one yourself, that you have the same level of experience that I have. Hopefully by the time you guys get yours, they'll have even more and more games, and hopefully, like, we'll see, like, Final Fantasy 14 officially supported through the platform. I also downloaded Final Fantasy 11, and there's going to be more games that I'm going to be testing on the Steam Deck itself, and my voice seems to be failing, so that's the perfect time to wrap up the video. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd love to be able to answer them for you about the device. If you guys are curious about my thoughts about Final Fantasy 14 specifically, I'll have that the Ginger JRPG tag in the description, so you can follow that over to that channel. And guys, yeah, this is great. This is going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to putting some more games on this, and this is going to really help me in terms of my leveling experience, because it gives me the level of flexibility that I've been needing in my day-to-day gaming life. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.